There we go. Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having amazing days. Welcome back to another FXLondon YouTube video. Today, I'm going to be breaking down another commonly asked question inside the Discord community channel, which is, what is the recommended minimum account size, deposit size for your first FX account? Okay, so from personal experience, when I first started 2.5, 2 3/4, 3 years ago, around about that sort of time, I deposited £500 into the FX brokerage Vantage FX. Okay, that was the first brokerage I ever signed up to. Put in £500, and that's the equivalent of $650, $660 for the American guys and girls out there that are watching these videos. And my experience was that I lost it within the first 2 weeks. Okay, made a load of money because of beginner's luck. Pretty much over leveraging, getting a lucky trade, and I think I made about £100, £200 within the first day. Thought this was brilliant. Thought I was going to make a load of money off of this small deposit size, and was quickly humbled by the market and lost it all within the following 2 weeks. So essentially, from my own personal experience, what is the recommended minimum account size? Now, ultimately, of course, this is your choice. This is totally dependent on your financial situations as well. As I've always said, if the money that you're going to be investing is money that you're going to need for food, for electricity, heating, bills, clothing, then don't invest it, okay? Because it's not worth it. The statistics out there for the amount of people that lose money is unfortunately horrific. On these brokerage sites, platforms, 75 to 90% of people are losing, their money, and ultimately just donating their money to the market without ever receiving anything back. So, leverage trading is a risky game, okay? And I'm going to say that time and time again in every single one of my videos, pretty much. So only invest money that you can afford to lose. Okay, I think that's the first step. This, amount of money is going to be different for every single person. For me, it was savings, for the first deposit size that I put into it, and then from then on afterwards, doing little jobs here and there to build up, a bit of money to put back into the market to test it out again, meant that I had 2-3 month windows before I was depositing money again and again and again. And this was small amounts of money, and I learned huge lessons from every single one of the sessions that I had, basically depositing money and trading it. And I think that's the thing, is that you're going to lose your first deposit. Okay, down to statistics, you're going to lose your first deposit. So what would my recommendation be for the average viewer out there that's watching it? I've got a few notes, so I'm going to make sure that I go through them all. And let's start off with the fact that most brokers accept a minimum of $100 to begin an account. Okay, to start up an account, to verify your credentials, to actually have access to the market, you need around about $100. Okay, of course, there's going to be brokerages out there that accept $5, $10, $15, but check their verification and their regulation, because most of those brokers that are offering, smaller deposit sizes tend to be ones, just from experience, that don't have a stronger regulation. And therefore, if you do make money, are you going to be able to get that out? That's the question. So you need to be able to make sure that you've got, a well-regulated platform that you're trading on. I've done another YouTube video. You can check that out on the page, which is some of the finest Forex brokerages of 2022. That video will be credible for future years as well. I basically run through the fact that TTT Markets, Vantage FX, and Awanda for American ladies and gents out there. Those are the sorts of top 3 brokers that I kind of have in my mind, in my picture, that I use as well. For 2022, CMC Markets, as I mentioned, IC, Vantage, Pepperstone, they're all good ones as well. So be sure to check them out, check their Trustpilot, see that they've got, loads of people trading on their platforms every single day. They've got loads of trading volume, etc., etc. That's in the other video. But essentially, those brokerages do have minimum deposit sizes of, $100, $200. So be sure to check those out. So essentially, you're going to need $100 as a minimum, but I would recommend starting with $200, $300, simply because of the fact that you're most likely going to lose it. Okay. And I think from that process, you will and should learn a lot. Okay. As I've said to all my community members, I have not met a lot of successful traders now. Having done YouTube for a bit of time, having been on Telegram for a long period of time, and Discord as well, I've come across and met lots and lots and lots of successful traders, and I have not met a single one that has been profitable from day one. Okay, not a single one. It just doesn't happen. Myself included. It took a long time to become actually profitable, and I was losing a lot of money throughout the process of getting to that point. And it took willpower, it took, thick skin, but I think, every single person that I know now has said, of course, it was worth it. So I think the one thing is, in this process of learning, you don't want to lose. You want to, keep your losses as small as they can be. So don't go and invest all the money that you've got into the markets round one to try and essentially flip your money, make loads of money, because likelihood, is that you're going to lose it. So what I've said here is start with small amounts of money that you can afford to lose, that you're happy to lose, and essentially you're putting it into the market to go, I'm going to learn a lot from this, and if I do lose it, it is okay. And then essentially what I would recommend and say to people that I know is have that $200, $300, trade it. Trade it with the strategy that you've learned, with the psychology that you currently got, with the market approach that you currently got, with the trading plan that you currently got. Okay, and if you lose it, then reflect, take some time, write down on a piece of paper or on your phone or on your laptop what went wrong. Was it your strategy? Was it that you disrespected your strategy and you didn't follow it? Was it your trading plan? Was it that you didn't follow your trading plan? Was it your risk management? That your risk management was crazy, that you were over leveraging and you just blew your account? Or was it that your psychology was what was lacking? Okay, was it the fact that you couldn't hold on to your winning trades and you were holding on for dear life for your losing trades and that running drawdown and essentially just blew your account? What was the reason? Or was it that over a long extended period of time you're just losing? Or was it that it happened within 30 minutes, or less? So essentially, write down on a piece of paper what went wrong. Figure out which department it is in. Is it in your psychology? Okay, is it in your risk management or is it in your strategy? Okay, I would say there's sort of 3 departments there. Okay, and if you can figure out which one was wrong, then you can go back, learn, educate yourself, or re-educate yourself in those departments, and take away from it what you can, because essentially in the future, if you build up a really nice foundation of where you have faults as a trader yourself. So I knew, for instance, myself when I first started out, okay, that I had a strategy. I'd followed strategies on the line that were working. Okay, my risk management was all right, but it was my psychology, it was my emotional aspect of things that got in the way. That I was constantly checking my phone, constantly checking whether I was in profit or loss, and that is what caught me out on the first couple of deposits that I put in, essentially blowing them up, because I was taking and banking the profits as quick as I could, and I was holding on to the losses for dear life, and that's what blew my account time and time again. And so it took me a bit of time to learn that. But essentially, if you can learn what you're bad at straight away and address it on the next deposit, okay, when you build up a little bit of money, perhaps a month, 2 months later, you reinvest, you decide to give it another go, you can then work on what you got wrong the first time. Okay, and if you do that enough times over and you keep improving on yourself and educating yourself, then you're gonna become profitable. Okay, and essentially, if you figure, oh, I blew my money in the first 2 weeks, try and sustain out the amount of money, try and sustain out the time that you can keep the money. Okay, so let's say you deposit like I did £500 round 1, you lose it in 2 weeks like I did. Let's say 2 months later, you reinvest another £500. Can you hold on to that for longer than 2 weeks? Okay, can you actually grow it? And if you can't, then again, as I've just said, basically just readdress what you've gone wrong. And that is essentially what I would recommend, is putting money into the market. If you do lose it, learn from it. If you do start winning, learn what's going right. Okay, and if you do lose it, take a breather. Go back to educating yourself, learning, go back to the demo environment where you can, trade a little bit more risk-free or completely risk-free, where you haven't got to put money up on the line. Learn from all of those processes. Okay, and trading honestly is just a long-term game. If you're in the game for the long run, you will see success. Okay, if you keep learning, keep going back, figuring out what you've done wrong. Trading, like any other profession, takes time, it takes learning, it takes education. And I think one of the main things is that people expect to make money off trading straight away because of the reputation that people are giving it on Instagram, YouTube, other platforms out there like TikTok, where they're flashing, cars, cash, boats, hotels, holidays to the average viewer who has a 9-to-5 job and saying, yeah, look, man, you can take 2 trades and win loads of money. You will not, from your first deposit, your $100, $200, $300, $400, $500 pound deposit, you're not going to flip that into £1 million. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen like that. So figure out what works well, be happy with small profits, because that is amazing. And if you do lose money, learn from it, go back, re-educate yourself, and yeah, come out on top. So hopefully this is just a short, sweet video to give you a little bit of advice from myself, from my experience, what I found work, what I have found doesn't work. And as always, in all of the videos, if you've got any questions, you want to join the community, everything is going to be linked down below. Discord group chat, Telegram group chat, all the rest, Instagram, Facebook, etc. So if you did enjoy the video, give it a like as always, let me know with a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. But for now, good luck. And of course, trading is a journey. Like any other profession, as I mentioned, it takes time to educate yourself. You have to reinvest in yourself, become better, to master the trade, master the art, and essentially you will become successful in the long run. Just keep with it, stick with it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.